Like, coordinators are 100% better than naturals at piloting mobile suit. Well, yeah, but 100% of mobile suit pilots are also coordinators.
Yes.
Your sample pool kind of sucks.
All right, we are calling all Gundam seed pilots. Are you ready to double your deployment? Join us on Patreon and get double episodes dropped right away. Once we reach 30 patrons, we'll bring double episodes to YouTube for everybody to experience. So fuel your Gundam addiction on Patreon. So let's build this community together, join Patreon, and get those double episodes of Gundam Seed.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Justin, and we are back with another episode of Gundam Seed. And new overlay. Justin's finally a character.
Hell yeah.
I think the second overlay that you're in now. First
Take
up,
over all the overlays eventually.
well, you can only half take over them. I think I'm
That's
always
fine.
on the right-hand side, and everybody else is on the other side, so you can only have 50% of the space.
That's fine.
Alright, first up, though, we have comments. First off is Zero Hera from the episode The Scar of Space. While the collapse of Heliopolis is a tragedy that could have been avoided, the scope of it paled in comparison to Janus 7. As shown in the previous prologue sequences, Janus 7 was struck by a singular nuclear warhead, killing almost 250,000 people instantly. While the assault on Heliopolis originally started with a minimal collateral damage to the military installations, allowing the rest of the population to seek shelter, the deaths probably occurring during the initial attack and later, if any life pods were damaged, in the collapse itself. As far as Zaft and the plants will be concerned, the two are not the same, and the threat of the new mobile suits will be justified, particularly the Blitz, as the mass production of that unit could have resulted in the destruction of all the security installations of Zaft, if not the loss of more colonies. After all, imagine the devastation that could be caused if the Blitz could be deployed with a nuclear bomb that it could unleash without anyone knowing it was there. Thankfully, the use of nuclear weapons remains out of the hands of both factions, for now. In case you don't remember, the Blitz is the camouflage, stealthy one.
Got it. Yeah, no, nukes are scary, especially when you have ways to tactically deliver them with such efficiency.
It's called the Ghost in StarCraft.
Exactly.
For the audience, if you don't know that joke or never played StarCraft, Ghost is a unit that cloaks. You walk up and you put a little laser pointer on a point in the map you want to nuke, and that's what happens. You have that amount of time to kill the ghost before the nuke goes off. Alright, no other...
Not on that one.
Alright, next up we have Log Hey Long from The Scar of Space. Not in anime, Whale is an extraterrestrial fossil discovered by the first technical coordinator who views himself as an innovade. But I feel like making a joke while waiting for you guys to get past the Universal Century rehatches. If you get it, you get it. Blame the environmentalists in Seed. Why are you laughing?
Because I appreciate the blame the environmentalists putting at the end, but that makes sense. That the whale is a trophy from previous.
Well, they're referring to that guy from the.
Previous.
Well, they're referring to that guy from from that one episode, which had the backstory of coordinators.
Yes.
George.
I won't remember who the guy is,
Was
but
it George?
previously trophy. Yes.
All right. Last up, another comment from Zero Hera from the episode The Songstress of the Enemy Forces. While the captain had taken the children into custody, involved them in the war, it doesn't compare to involving Lacus. Most of the children she took into custody are naturals and citizens of a neutral nation, meaning the likelihood of them getting killed because they know about the Gundams is near zero, particularly since Zaft already got most of the data from the captured units. The children would probably get grilled to see what they know, have an Orb Union representative pick them up, and return them to their home country under strict supervision and NDAs. Lacus is not only a coordinator, but the civilian daughter of the current head of the plants, and a popular person amongst the population. She would be lucky to get treated as a hostage and bartered with zaft for some concessions, though we all know that they are likely to refuse negotiations whilst she is a hostage. So the end result might be either imprisonment or execution. The only reason they might not kill her is to avoid making her a martyr to the Coordinator faction, but based on Flay's reaction to her, there would be a massive pressure campaign to kill her as a way of demoralizing the opposition. Captain Ramius understands this, and the fact that she won't say a word means that she knows that there is no justification for what horrors Lacus could endure if they bring her amongst the Earth Alliance's forces.
That is true.
Dark but real. One might say it was a war crime.
What?
Others would get into comments and creepily defend the horrible actions of the good guys. Because they're the good guys. Or, have some sort of weird attachment to the show that doesn't allow them to see the negative qualities of things because, I don't know. But, I've gotten on a high horse and started making fun of the audience for some reason. I better move on. How about you tell us what happened last time?
Okay. Was last time the episode that started with that
A really disappointing thing? Yes.
Atherin and Kigali on the beach? Or
No,
did
that
it
was the
start
episode
with
before
the
last.
ship instantly being damaged?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so in all of the combats we've seen, there was 0 damage to the Archangel. We show up to a Archangel. There is a very brutal fight, and then we get the reveal that Kigali is actually a princess within the nation of Orb, or whatever, within Orb, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they get because of that. They're treated relatively with respect, and I don't remember a lot of the middle. I remember at the end, the mobile suit team from Zaft infiltrate into where they are as well.
All right. Well, I think with that, we should go ahead and hit the concept board since you're already looking at it.
Indeed.
Now, I was a bit confused about what I should do here with a third faction. Since I had made the whole middle thing, the kids, and then the right-hand side was Zaft, and the left-hand side has been the Earth Force. And then, we had delved off with the rebels outside of the Earth Force, and then we went on Zaft's, Earth people off onto the side of the Zaft people we know. So we kind of had that spread going. It's like, oh, should I put them down here on the bottom? Do a 3-point triangle sort of thing? It's like, no, that doesn't work for the overlay. So I just kind of put them over here right now. This is Orb.
Yeah.
This is everyone from Orb that we know, except for Gali, which I've kind of still got mixed in with the rebels.
Yeah. At this point, I think it makes sense that she's still mixed in with the rebels, because she's just used this as a position so they didn't die.
I mean, she went at length at Atherin that she's not part of the Earth Alliance.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got her dad. We got this guy who sat next to him. We got the guy who was on the phone. And the maid.
Bone guy.
Or housekeeper. Not maid, housekeeper. Servant? Assistant? I don't know what she is.
It's probably some combination of those 3-4 things. I also think that Ledanier Rambo was connected to this whole side as well, because I think that he said he was her bodyguard, not part of the rebels.
Well, yeah, that's what he said. He's part of the military service.
Yeah.
And her bodyguard, but I don't really know how I tie that in. I guess. Well, right to the wrong guy. I'm good. I'm good at this.
Bang.
Doing it live. Badly. So I just want to go below because I don't want to cross green lines. I hate crossing over their names. Anything else you see on here, though, while I'm doing this?
No.
Not a thing? Nothing else at all? Nothing that could take up like a 5 seconds of time?
The only thing I'll point out is that in the center of this web, as is being pulled up, is Bad Girl. Bad Girl is at the center of this web.
The center of the web?
Of this chart. Almost dead center is Bad Girl.
Oh, I
So
don't
that
know
makes me
that.
think this whole show's about Bad Girl based off of the single thing that you made not related to the show in an official manner.
Well, you're making that artificial, I think, because if I put the center of the page, let's see, this is about halfway down, come in there. This is about the middle. This girl. This girl is the center of my board.
Perfect.
Damn it.
So it's all about
Haw.
Morelia Ha.
It's a real hee-haw. Hee-haw.
It's true.
Hee-haw. As far as I know, they're a couple, so that kind of works.
So what's gonna happen is Toll is gonna gonna die horribly, and that's gonna cause Ha to go on a vengeance arc. That's what's gonna happen. Not based off the show, based off this board.
I'm disappointed because I thought you were building up to a joke, like a movie name, or you know, like husband. I don't know. I don't know what. I thought the pun was coming. You were gonna do something funny with Haw and vengeance or revenge or
the name. I don't know what they're gonna name it, but the tagline is gonna be.
You don't know this, but your internet has been fucking up this entire time. So all I got from you is it's gonna be, and it really looked like you paused to think, and then your hand just waved and you said nothing. That's all I got. That's all the recording got. The audience, your joke didn't come out at all.
In that case, I'll say a different one. Just looking at you, kid.
I'm sorry, everyone. We've spent a good 5 minutes on this now, I feel like, and the payoff was not worth it. The pun should have had a haw in it somewhere, I feel. I'm not a comedian myself, but I think it's what we were all anticipating.
I did. I said, pause, looking at you, kid.
Oh, you see, again. You need to start coming up with jokes that don't depend on your internet, is what I'm thinking here.
I love it.
Well, you broke up on the first word, and I just thought you said, here's looking at you, kid. And I'm like, okay, that was meaningless to me. Anyway, that's the board. I have just a few notes here, nothing of any real serious nature, but it's kind of odd, or possibly shows how much these kids are sheltered from the war by the fact that they don't know basic terms like MIA. Though, odd point, one of them says that missing in action implies that they are presumed killed in action, which is actually a completely different abbreviation.
Interesting. I actually now remember hearing that once, but I forgot that fact.
Hearing what once?
Killed in action is a different term than missing in action.
Yeah, KIA. That's why you would missing presumes that they're not dead by default. So them saying you said that they're MIA implies that they're killed in action. No, A deserter is MIA. You don't
Yeah.
assume a deserter is dead because you want to punish them for deserting. I'd make a comment about how ruthless Bad Girl might be for wanting to leave Kagula, Kagula, after she went MIA. But let's be honest, that's just typical Bad Girl.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
See, my
very
problem is that I wrote Kaguya or something like that. In all my other notes, I wrote Kigali, which is her fucking name. So I don't know what I was on when I think I wrote that at 2 a.m. last night.
well. I think it's also the fact that bad girls like we need to get where we're going. We are a target. So it's the idea of waiting to find someone. She's like, no,
No, I
like
mean
we
I
need to
get
get
it,
moving.
but she's also just been heartless all throughout.
Yep.
Maybe, well, I have it in a thought later, so I'm not going to spoil that one. But I mean, this is the commander that you wanted, so
Well, yeah,
uh,
because she's the one that's trying to get there. Every like she's th- there is a point where you have to establish and follow through with there is acceptable number of casualties.
is there? You would be
Yes.
horrible on the safety division. That's all I'm going to say. What's the acceptable number of accidents? Realistically, probability state's probably like 20%. No, zero. The answer's zero. You always say zero.
Well, no, because there is like a technical percentage of things are going to go wrong, but you don't go off of that as the way you train people. You train people to have none.
All I'm saying is, personally, I want the commander who's going to try and save me, and not the commander who's going to bail for the mission. Because, what's the worth of getting to Alaska when a lot of people died to get there, versus getting to Alaska late and alive?
That's the thing. The more time you spend not in Alaska, the less likely you are to get there.
Do we even really want to get to Alaska?
I don't think so,
I
but
mean, that's what I'm saying. We got told to go to Alaska. Do we really want to go to Alaska? We can
I
just
think
not.
Alaska's a bad place for us to go.
Technically, most of us aren't even the crew of this ship. We just volunteered and then signed on so we could stay together. I feel like, I mean, just throwing this out there now, not even part of this thought. They're in their home country. They could just bail on their whole Earth Force, we signed up for the military thing and to say, I'm going home.
True.
What's Earth Force gonna do? Pull me out? They can't spare the military to come in here and get me. They're in a war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, we're in the country that made the ship and the Gundam. I think we got the advantage. Let's see. I'm not sure what the point of the Kagali is a girl play that we keep getting is. She looks like a girl. They deigned to give us a shower scene with her. She's got the curves to rival Flay. Every time they can, they have to get a confused main character in play, announce in a shocked tone that she's a girl, just to piss her off.
I think it's just a way to drive home the fact that she's more of a rugged character slash tomboy.
Right, but like I said, they put her in a shower scene. We know that she's
Yep.
not like she don't look like a dude, is all I'm saying. Remember the first episode? It was a hat that threw our character off.
Fully aware.
Hat. Oh, it's a girl. Nope, it's Clark Kent. Ah.
Yes, but like I think that is simply just a tool to basically show look at this character who is not who is not pure female. Go. Then you have then you have Flay who's like, "Hey, I'm going to be female and distract you." I think it's just meant to show that divide.
Maybe. When Elsman goes, it's not as though he fell from Earth's atmosphere. I feel like that is going to be a card him and Yasek hold over everyone until the day they die. More than that, though, I can't believe that they have the nerve to keep bringing it up when we have no idea how they survived. The strike was going to melt if it fell from the same height, and Kira spent half of an episode bedridden from the heat. How the hell did these two make the entire drop down to the surface and remain fine? Even their Gundams are fine.
Yep. Yeah, no, I don't think we're gonna get an explanation either, because I think we would have gotten one by this point.
Well, they just brought it up again, which means that they're referencing it.
Yeah. Unless there's some phenomenon explained, yeah.
Yeah, we bounced off the Northern Lights. The name of the group that developed the Gundams and Archangel is Morgan Rote? Royet? Morgan Rote? Yeah, I should probably practice saying these words before I read them. Apparently, and the leader of Orb had to discuss things with them. So I don't know if there is some sort of power struggle in Orb about this, as it's only after that discussion that Kigali's dad says that they want Kira for technical cooperation with the group.
I think it's a development thing. I don't think this group actually cares about who wins the war. I think they care about making their profit from the mobile suits. Because they can also use the mobile suits to defend themselves, and if they're the ones who developed them, they want to have the best pilots, which Kira is clearly shown to be.
Was it you in a previous reaction to a different show that thought colonies were all corporations?
What's that?
There was a recent reaction we did, and I
Yep.
can't remember if it was Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin or not, where you thought colonies or something were corporate based. Or I'm asking
Yes,
if it was at you. I can't remember if it was you or
it
Lessons.
was. It was.
Because it feels like you're doing the same thing here with Orb.
I
That,
kind of am.
that you're calling them profit based. Because you got to remember, they lost a colony just recently. So it's not
Well,
Earth.
because
It's not the Earth Alliance that lost a colony. Well, I guess they did with Artemis, but
technically, but so no, because if you look at a country, the basis of a country is it is run very similar to an organization. You have one person at the head, and you have the different people in positions to do the different jobs. The difference is it all has to take care of its people versus its people working for it. In a little more of a case, but even so, that's still not 100% true. So if their war is one of the biggest reasons why large scale conflict is started is in order for countries to get out of debt and make money, because war makes money.
you ever watch? You ever read the Mars trilogy?
I have not.
Red Mars, Blue Mars, Green Mars. It's a sci-fi novel about colonizing Mars, but one of the precepts is that the globalization effect is that mega corporations are more powerful than countries in that setting, and it
Got
deals
it.
with like economics and the economics of war and everything, the economics of everything.
Yeah.
If I had to say what the Mars trilogy was mostly about, it would be economics. Well, it's social interaction and therapy. Anyway, um, point being, as I'm acutely aware of all that kind of stuff, it's just, if not for the fact that I know you haven't watched much anime, I would have felt like your first Gundam might have been Witch from Mercury, where it's the different Gundam in that there's no nations, no
Yeah.
nations fight one another. It's all corporations, and then you have the corporations have their own Gundams and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's just that you keep approaching everything as a corporate thing. So
Yeah.
I
I think that's the structure they've set up, though. Like, I think it doesn't feel like the nations are. What's the word?
Real?
It doesn't feel like the nations have a purpose for being there, if not for the business side of it. Like, if not for the production, if not for this, like, it feels like efficiency has become far more valued than anything else within the setting.
I don't know. From the point of view of the leaders that we've seen so far, it feels like revenge is the the goal of the day.
I could agree with that.
Well, I just mean the one leader that Earth Force, the guy who talked to Kira when he was coming back from the whole "I'm a traitor to the coordinators" thing, where he was crying in bed, that old thing.
Yep.
That guy was very much on a war-centric path, even talking about people that wanted to appease Zaft. You know, like, let's give them
Yep.
money and resources and try and end the war through appeasement, are just like killing people by trying to even try to appease Zaft. And then we have your guy, Patrick, who's clearly, because the current chairman of Zaft is trying to do, like his dad, is trying to do the whole peace route. And then your
Yeah.
guy is like, no, we're going to do Operation. Fuck, I can't remember its name.
Bit brick.
Yeah, Spit Break, whatever that is. Oh, I think it's supposed to be taking over the last spaceport on Earth, right? Is that what we guessed?
Which I think might be Alaska.
Oh no, we already got them. We already know what they're called. Panama. Ah, shit. It was in my
Oh
last
yeah.
notes. We talked about it last time.
Yeah, yeah.
Panama. I think Panama's the last one remaining, and that's an Earth Alliance one. Sorry, I thought it would have been immediately on my last notes, but it's not like popping out into my eyes, which means that I do not remember.
So I think both of their goals are peace. However, I believe that they're trying to get there in different ways. One person is taking the reasonable approach and being like, hey, if we want peace, let's be peaceful. And the other one's like, we want peace by force.
Well, I mean, we haven't seen an Earth Alliance version of Klein,
We have not.
so we only know that someone in Zaft is working towards peace. And, well, I guess technically we know somebody in Earth Force or Earth Alliance is, because that guy said the people that want that, which means that there's people out there that are trying. We just haven't seen them.
Agreed.
Let's see. War for Two was a pretty fanfic heavy episode for Atherin and Kigali fans, but I appreciate that it at least served to give Atherin some strong "this is what I believe" and "this is my story" moments, as well as showing he's pretty good outside of his mobile suit, something we barely got to see in the first episode.
Yeah. I think it showed that both of them can be reasonable,
Well,
which
that
I
too.
think is the important part. Because now it is possible that down the road we're going to see a moment where Atherin chooses not to strike because it is not the reasonable move in the situation.
That's
Same
right.
with Kigali.
The strike is the name of Kira's Gundam, so
I know.
he's not going
I
to strike because Kira's in it.
know.
Also, I just remembered the other name of the spaceport that is the place that got attacked literally at the first episode, where we see them all drop in space, Couchgung. So I guess that
Yep.
would have been the Orb spaceport, which would, yeah, that's right. Because I think I argued that out loud last time we recorded. That how are they not at war? Literally, the first episode covered how they were being attacked by Zaft.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the third one was though. Third one's already
It,
gone too.
it could be like a Switzerland situation where they right now don't have a proper dog in the fight, so they're staying neutral.
I mean, they're not really neutral though either, are they? They let Earth Force on their space station to build weapons
Yeah.
of war. So
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, I think they're staying as new. I think at this point they've been staying as neutral as they can, while hiding the fact that they're not.
Didn't do a very good job, though, did they?
No, not one
Zaft
bit.
knew about it before the episode started.
Yep.
See, I could be wrong, but the start of the Land of Peace episode might be the first time since episode 1 that we saw anyone die on the Archangel. That one shot that we get of the explosion in the back fin where it falls off also includes an interior shot of 3 guys getting enveloped in a fireball. Pretty safe to assume that they're dead.
On the Archangel, yes.
Because nobody's died on the Archangel after or since the explosives that Zaft set in the hangar.
Yep.
Let's see. If in universe they aren't chalking up the strike's winning record to the fact that Kira is an ace pilot, mostly due to the fact that he's all on the job training versus the actual military trained opponents he's gone up against so far, one has to wonder why they made all these different varieties of Gundam packages. The strike has handily beaten every one of them so far, and it's not even close most of the time. It goes 4 versus 1 multiple times. I mean, it outperforms other Gundams with specialties in their specialties. Duel is about close combat, and the moment Strike pulls out its laser sword, Duel's lost its weapons and has serious damage done to it. It feels like we only need the one model of suit.
I think the implication is Kira.
Well, no, I mean, sorry, just further clarification. The Strike has packages. So every one
Yes.
of those specialties the other suits are designed for is just a package to the Strike. Oh, you want a camouflage? Boom, camouflage package, you know? Oh, you want to do long range artillery assault? Boom, artillery package, you know? The Strike is all of them, and somehow better than them.
See, so that's where I think the difference is. I don't think the Strike is naturally better than that. I think the Strike is naturally just below that with all of them. But I think the difference is Kira.
Well, I think that's the start of my point. Like I said, if they aren't chalking it up to Kira, from like a planning and construction point of view, right? You don't make a fighter craft specifically for the best fighter in the country. You make the fighter craft for the baseline. So, if you're not thinking, that the best pilot ever is going to get into it, you still made the best Gundam out of
Yes.
5.
So I think it is still the best Gundam out of 5. But I think it's the best because it's the all-terrain vehicle of Gundams. And I think everything has been made to a significant enough quality that it might not be able to 100% outdo the long-range bomber. But they have the perfect pilot in there.
That hurts me every time you call Kira perfect. I don't like him. I don't like the character of Kira.
I don't think he's perfect. I think as a character he sucks, but he's an incredible pilot.
Is he incredible? I guess he's all right. Sorry, my problem is that I also I feel like every time I bring up lessons, I'm doing an advertisement for another show on the channel. So if you like Macross,
do it.
Yeah, no, it's just we watch Macross, and Macross is literally all the most of the characters. Not mostly. It's all there's fighter pilots. Macross is almost a love letter to. I almost said the wrong movie. Top Gun. I would say Days of Thunder. That's the wrong movie. Days of Thunder is the Tom Cruise NASCAR movie. Yeah, it's like a love letter to Top Gun. So I keep thinking. Also, the fighter jets in Macross turn into basically mobile suits. They transform.
Well, hey, if you're on the highway to the danger zone and you want some more jets, go watch the Macross reactions.
But I'm just thinking that the when they go into humanoid mech thing, there are some really good pilots in that. I know you're typically supposed to compare Gundam to itself, like who's the better Gundam pilot. But I think it's only a narrative in my head because I literally just brought it up to lessons the other day that they're trying to make this character like the best. He's obviously the best pilot in the show,
Yeah.
but compared to other series in the series, this guy's pretty slow. And I'm just thinking about Kira. It's like Kira's pretty slow compared. Like even you, we watched Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin. Remember the first time we see Char in the very first episode?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Char would kick Kira's ass.
1,000,000%.
Char is super speedy, just looking all over the. Kira stares at a thing for a long time before he does anything.
You could put Char with one weapon up against all 5 of the Gundams in this show, and he would win.
And well, I can't say that. Justin rule still in effect.
You know, like that. That's an example of what I think like a prime Gundam pilot is. Like someone who is the best in the era of mobile suits.
Oh, you are gonna get comments.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
In comparison to what we've seen here, though, like that's like a grown ass man who's military trained and started off better.
remember that he is. Yeah, what did we say? We figured out his age. 19?
Yep.
Nice, not a grown ass man. A 19-year-old still has
In
teen
comparison
in
to
his
the
age.
pilots here.
We don't,
In comparison to the pilots here.
do we know how old Kira is?
Um.
Different art style, right? We don't really.
Yeah.
I'd assume he's a teen as well. I don't think we've ever gotten an age. We do know that he was younger at some point because we had that flashback between him and Atherin where Atherin's wearing a Girl Scout uniform.
15 to 16.
So he's not that much younger.
Those are at that point with specialized training. That's a big difference.
Oh, that was my again. That was my point when I was saying it. In that Kira has on-the-job training, and everybody he's fought in has been military trained. So already the if there's like a scale here, Kira's already beating military trained people. You know, Waltfield was military trained.
I think the difference with him and Char is the intention behind what Char does. Char's taking names. Kira doesn't want to fight. Char is like, send more.
I feel like the only rational move to do here now is that when we're done recording today, I put a poll up on the channel and say who wins in a fight, Char versus Kira.
Hell yeah.
Char Aznavour versus Kira Yamato. Well, I'll do it. I'll put it up in the community section of the YouTube channel. Let everyone vote. It's been a long time since I've done a poll. Let's see. Despite everything, Orb is pretty cocky for a neutral power. They threaten both Zaft and the Archangel to leave their territory or they'll open fire, right? They have helicopters and boats. Boats and submersibles seem to have the worst luck out of all the military craft we've seen so far. Marcos Cousteau took a couple of hits, started flooding, and that was that. That dude's dead. At least Waltfeld's Lesips got hit a few times and could escape because it was a land vessel. Hell, even the space battleships we see only have to deal with the hull puncture part. They don't get dragged down into an ocean that will crush them if they go too deep. Mind you, I'm saying this from the perspective that we have yet to see a single non-Archangel ship defeat a mobile suit or a Gundam in a fight. So for as threatened as everyone seemed by the Orb fleet, I anticipate that the encounter would have gone exactly like the fight in space some episodes back, just with a lot more drowning.
I think the damage to the Archangel made it different.
I don't think Archangel would have done it. I think it would have been the Zaft guys, and because it was, if you put in like the similar motif, it was those 4 Zaft guys who destroyed the entire fleet in orbit.
Got it. I see what you're saying. Yep, I can see that.
And these are worse than that fleet in orbit because they're both that you hit them and they sink and they become not combat. They become a bunch of drowning people.
I see what you're saying. Yep. No, I think that's very much possible.
The place we are now at in the show is labeled Onogoro Island, which seems to be a semi-real place. Apparently, it's written to be one of two islands in reality. I don't know if it's supposed to be kind of like a Japanese Atlantis, but apparently it's written about and not really sure where it is. One of the two places it's listed as possibly being is Nushima, which actually has an Onogoro shrine on it. So
Okay.
if we consider them to be on Nushima, they are in southern Japan, just on the outskirts of Osaka Bay. Sorry, Osaka Bay.
Okay.
Just to let you know where they are on the map. They are, which I guess also implies that Orb is Japan.
That makes sense.
So, sorry, you about to say something?
Um, I'm if it's a semi-real place, then it would be possible to trek out the travel.
I mean, it's a relatively small island, but I think that's supposed to be that the place that we're looking at isn't all of Orb. That would imply if Japan still exists, that the rest of Japan might be Orb. And I think that fits into the anime trope of Japan as a special place in the anime. I don't know why I'm air quoting.
It makes sense that Japan would be a special place as well.
Well, I mean, they wrote the show, right?
Yep.
So, the same as any American media where America stands strong and the world's fallen. You know, America. I don't
Yep.
know if Canada has anything like that.
Um, not super. Canada has a ton of allies, but like there's no like Canadian media where it's like Canada rules the world.
Well, I mean, not unless you include yourself in the American thing, because the North American. God, what's it
Nah.
called? North American something else. We're together. We are together. If anything, if anybody attacks North America, we all come in. Somebody attacks you, we're
Oh,
fucking
that
there.
that absolutely. That's 100% a thing. But Canada, like, can't as a country, Canada has so many countries that they can just be like, "Hey, somebody hit us."
Yeah, but no, there's a thing. I can't recall North American something defense alliance or defense treaty or
Um,
NAFTA is what's coming to my head, but that's the trade alliance. There's a literal alliance that we're all in North America. We are all together, no matter fucking what. That we will defend each other because we are one continent. God, I just hate it when I can't remember. Oop, cover the cameras for a second.
NORAD.
No, that is a place in Wyoming.
No, NORAD. North American Aerospace Defense Command.
No, that's the place in Wyoming. Have you ever seen Stargate?
No.
That's NORAD.
Okay,
NORAD's a real place. It's like the military command. It's where War Games. You ever seen War Games? That's also NORAD.
I have not.
It's a really cool bunker. Yeah, I don't know why when you look up North American Defense Treaty, NORAD comes up. It's a really cool bunker that has a bunch of buildings inside of a mountain that have like giant springs, so that when the nukes hit the fucking bunker, the buildings don't fall apart. It's also heavily shielded against electromagnetic, EMPs.
So we're either looking at for NORAD or NATO.
Not NATO either. Oh, maybe it is NATO. No, no, it's NATO is NATO. I'll look it up after, and
Okay.
I'll ping it because if I even remember.
Oh yeah.
Um, it is a thing, and I can't remember, and I thought it would have been more obvious on a Google search. No, I mean, yeah, I would heavily recommend you look up NORAD sometime, though. I used it as the basis for a sci-fi game. Just like the layout of NORAD as a bunker on a world that had been devastated by a post-apocalypse.
That's sick.
Well, I mean, what's the best place for have a bunch of civilians who survived? The fucking military bunkers. And what's the best military bunker? It's fucking NORAD. that are the Russian underground underneath the subways. That's mystery.
I've wanted to do similar with uh doing a sort of running like an investigation themed thing out of CERN.
I think I used CERN for something once. Because one of my favorite books, Flash Forward, takes place at CERN. So you get a lot of what the inside of the Hadron Collider looks like, and
Yeah,
all the surrounding buildings, and the fact that it's technically in two countries, isn't it?
I think it's either 2 or 3.
Yeah, because it's so big. Well, most of it's underground, but they have still
Yes.
facilities across. Anyway, it's a good thing. It's a cool thing. Last two thoughts I have here, though. So if Kira is from Heliopolis because his parents are naturals from Earth, then it stands to reason that they would be from Orb, and that we might meet them here, Kira's parents. The only thing that would make me think to the contrary is that Bad Girl implied that they could take his parents captive in order to get him to do what they wanted, which is why I said typical Bad Girl, because she's been doing this shit the whole time. If his parents were a part of Orb, it seems unlikely that she would make this sort of threat that Earth Force would take his Orb parents hostage.
Yeah.
And I was confused as to why Flay has a home in Orb, but it occurs to me that her dad was the Earth Defense Minister, so either he had a diplomatic residence here, and they're referring to, or that other thing I talked about, which is coming into play, or sorry, the other thing I talked about may be coming into play, which is to say he had mentioned some other reason for him being up there, in the fleet that gets attacked, as we
Mhm.
previously referenced, beyond meeting the Archangel or his daughter, that maybe he was involved with Orb as well.
It's very likely.
We don't know anything about her mother other than the fact that she said her mother's dead.
True. And that her mom gave birth to her. We know that.
Do we, though? We
We don't.
literally know that we have a whole coordinator thing with a bunch of genetically modified. So we
Genetically
don't
modified
we don't know if we got
after
test tube
birth?
babies, though. I'm just saying we don't know if we have test tube babies. Could be clones. We don't know if they're in vitro clones or ex vitro clones.
True.
I mean, I just made clones up and I'm already describing them to you. I'm just saying we don't know anything. I mean, obviously, benefit of the doubt, she has a mom, as most human beings do. But I would not be surprised to find out that one character in the show, somewhere down the line, has some sort of weird, fucked up backstory where they don't have a mom. Like, Rao was a genetic project from the coordinators to make a fourth generation coordinator. Oh, shit, just a thought occurred to me. Maybe Rao's taking those pills because he is a third or fourth generation coordinator. Not that they made one, but remember the birth rates are going down so much
Yeah,
that even third generation coordinators can't have kids. Maybe that's the side effect of being a fourth generation coordinator. Your genetics are just all fucked up.
that could be the case because maybe they're trying to figure out different. They're actually trying to figure out how to continue the like coordinator's existence.
I mean, it has to be a case of we artificially changed our genetic structure so much, and then two people with artificially changed genetic structures have a kid, and not only is their base genetic structure already kind of messed up because it's not natural, then you messed with it again to make sure that they were the way you wanted. So it could imply that there's not a what's the word here? They could imply that they don't have a full understanding of genetics as they think they do. Like they did something once and it seemed successful, and then it turns out it wasn't, and there's all these other unseen
I think it
consequences.
might. I think it might be a case that they knowingly made what they wanted, didn't think about the future, and now they're like, well, we can't like we whatever comes now is not is suffering side effects because of this.
Yeah, I mean, because you could be just too deep. Like, they're talking
Exactly.
about third generations, which implies that a first generation may still exist, but or possibly not. It could be the Mobile Suit Gundam Origin thing, where we're talking about like first generation colonists, and they're all dead, and we just saw the last two second generation colonists we know die because they're so old that
Exactly.
everybody here is second or third generation coordinator, which would imply that there's no base stock of humanity left within zaft to try and pull back.
Yes, and maybe humanity, like non-coordinators, are what they need, which is causing the problem because they're trying to do it without.
I feel like we're not right. I feel like we're not right because we feel too right for one thing. It feels too right. But also only solution I can think of in a world, the dark ass world that we know this is human kidnapping or human trafficking. That we need to start pulling
Yeah.
in naturals and then messing with them to make sure that we have a continued future as a species.
Yep.
Yeah, and that we don't see that happening, which either means that what we're saying is wrong or we haven't gotten there yet. So
It's very possible.
it feels very right what we said, but since it hasn't happened, I don't know. Alright, any other thoughts from your end before we get into this?
No.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and watch and see what happens next. Like I said, it would be right on the edge of the bay, which would mean it would be near the ocean.
Mhm.
だがその先は完全な個人情報管理システムでね。急にはどうしようもない。
It's the word I couldn't pronounce.
まあ、無茶はしてくれるなよ。騒ぎはごめんだ。獅子は眠らせておきたいんでね。
Cool 80s guitar, bro.
I know, right? My hair's not curly enough for this guitar.
Well, it just throws me off because it's a really cool sound from the show that has an opening that sucks ass.
Hmm.
You're a married man. Well, you will be. Wait, I said
Also,
the opening
did-
sucks ass and we're getting a new opening. Oh, never mind. We went electronica.
Yeah, we're
Still
we're at a
better.
rave now.
Still better.
It is.
Not gonna say I'm a Gibraltar base. Funny that we get an opening that features him at the Gibraltar base when we're not there anymore.
We also just saw Kigali with both.
Yeah, with her princess dress.
Yeah.
Lacus, stop flirting with that man. Who is this guy? What? These are new people. Forbidden Gundam? There's new Gundams. I'm gonna have to pause in the opening when I do the notes.
That's so good.
Well, there's new pilots. Which,
I know.
are the old ones gonna die? Because they weren't there.
One of them had a scythe.
Well, one, that means that they've made new Gundams, too. But they didn't show all the pilots we know. Half the pilots we know weren't here, and new people were here.
I'm calling it now that Lacus actually ends era.
I don't think so. They literally spend no time on screen.
Yet.
Well, I mean, she was wearing different clothes, too. God, I am psychic about this shit. The opening sucks. New opening. I'll say that was my favorite opening of the show so far, which is to
I
say,
agree.
it was bearable.
ヤマト少尉は宣告迎えとともにストライクで工場の方へ。そう、ありがとう。 何？いえ、ではこの際に内部システムの点検修理も徹底して行いたいと思っておりますので。
Well, yeah, it probably would be, because they're repairing them. Remember?
Yeah, like if someone's not like this, that's a problem.
Also, remember Bad Girl said that she was going to report Ramius for everything when they got to Alaska.
Yep.
記録ポーズ通話チャンネルオンラインはいはいそうよお母さんはまだ仕事帰るのはリュウが行ってからになっちゃうわ晩ご飯は
Code. Must be code.
食べてちょうだいね分かってます
She's a bad guy. She has coffee.
Well, no, the guy who called was Egyptian Rambo. So, the stuff that she's saying doesn't apply unless... I'm sorry. Did he call and she didn't answer?
No, so I think she was on call. She paused it, then her family called.
Oh, okay, it's a recording. I got it wrong. I heard the phone, I saw the video thing, and I thought it was a video call. Okay, so Egyptian Rambo sent her an information thing about everything he's seen. Oh, look at that. A whole thing about how it relies greatly on the pilot, like we just had a whole conversation about that too.
Yeah.
I am psychic. Oh, that's right, the next time on. The next time on featured, Atherin and gang in a non-Gundam fighting him in the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing a flashback to episode 1. Or maybe we put the two things together. Maybe they got shown the flashback.
インターフェースの性能が同じならば彼らの方が機体のポテンシャルをより有効に引き出すことができるのは明々白々なことである
Well, the real bullshit on that one is that Kira's only been fighting coordinators this whole time. So, there's really no point in saying that. There's no natural Gundam pilot. It's just the... Like, coordinators are 100% better than naturals at piloting Mobile Suit. Well, yeah, but 100% of Mobile Suit pilots are also coordinators.
Yes.
Your sample pool kind of sucks. Frankly, I'm surprised that we're still in the flashback.
As am I.
Hey, at least you get to see your favorite weapons.
ナチュラルがコーディネーターと同等の威力をモビルスーツに発揮させようとする。
Meth?
それだけ優れたソフトウェアが必要となる。しかし緊急事態
Maybe this is a flashback
その
episode.
作業をコーディネーターの手に委ねなければならなかったことは皮肉というしかないだろう。
That makes sense though, because if you want to fight coordinators, you have to deal with the way that they fight, which hence you have to see how they adjust the Gundam on the fly.
Well, I mean, because he did most of the modification after he got on the Archangel and they were safe for a little bit. Otherwise, he did kind of like a little on-the-fly stuff. It would make sense for this to be a flashback episode, because it is episode 25. You know, we're in the halfway point of the series. Halfway point of the season.
ともかくこの3機先に持ち帰るクルーゼ隊長にお渡しするまで壊すなよ
I'm surprised how much they're showing. It's Rusty, by the way. That guy's name is Rusty, if you don't remember.
I did not.
Apparently, he has his own manga.
Oh, snap.
Or like his own background manga. Well, because like everyone fucking cared when Rusty died. Like he was like a main character we didn't know. Oh, that's why. They have a whole backstory together. Everyone loved Rusty. Maybe I should read it at some point.
It's, yeah, no, this is very much just a, we need to, like, enemy to know the enemy.
I mean, at least it's an orb person giving us the recap, because at least from their perspective, it seems like new information.
I think I might have been on the right track with the weaponry and the, like, and that they can't do anything because basically powerless other than the Gundams.
Who? Who are you referring to?
No, not one person.
No,
like
who? You know, yeah, that's what I meant. Which organization? We have 3, remember?
Yeah, Orb.
Well, they made the Gundam, though. It could just be they can make the weapons, they just don't want to fight. I feel like if Switzerland made the nuke, and then gave it to America. That's it. That can't be great. You think she's a coordinator?
No.
Literally being great at keyboards is the first thing we saw coordinators are good at.
I'm aware.
I mean, can you imagine doing 3 keyboards around you? I'd barely do with the 1. Hey, it's a scene I referenced before. That weapon has to be radiation or something.
Sounds... I don't know.
Look, if this season has more 80s guitar, I'm all about it. Or this half of the season, rather. Let's get the feel of Beverly Hills Cop.
Little bit.
I expect Axel Foley's gonna walk in and try to pick a lock with some bubblegum. To be fair, the flashback is caught up to last episode, or 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Never mind, we went backwards. That was 2 episodes ago, now we're way back. What's that matter? Tigers also don't sell cereal. Do we really care?
Hey, but they're great.
Tigers? Eh. Depends. Not if you perform magic as a duo. You might not like them anymore.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes they just need a Snickers in human form.
Say if you're a fan of Las Vegas stage shows, you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing that happened.
Much like everything that's been on screen for the last 20 minutes. Things that already happened.
I like to call this episode, hey, let's use that footage from before.
I mean, it's a trope. I think every show has a recap episode at some point. Called a clip show. To advertise another show yet again. In Macross, this was called Global's Report, where literally the same shit happened. He sat in a room, talked into a microphone, and told us everything that already happened as though he was giving a report to the United Nations.
Got it. We are United Nations confirmed.
Well, I'll say this one's doing it better because her voiceover is constant. In Global Report, it was like the whole fucking flashback. And maybe he came in like every 3 or 4 times. I think the joke I kept making was, Global, how are you talking about the parts you weren't there for? Or the fact we kept getting scenes of, like, character interaction. Because Macross is predominantly, like, a love triangle story. you know, with an alien invasion and everything, but so my joke there was global. Quit talking about the teenage romance on your ship. Tell us about the aliens that are invading. You're a 50-year-old man, Global. Stop watching the kids.
We get it. Some kids smooched. We don't care about that.
There's no real through line on this one that I can make a joke about, because they're not, like, focusing on any one thing. And the fact we're jumping backwards and forwards in time. Oh, your favorite weapon killed my favorite guy. It's always the case. If I get a favorite guy, they're gonna die. I think I've given the death mark to Rao here by getting him drawn as me. I don't know when he's gonna die, but Rao will die. I don't know why. He swallowed the fly, so perhaps he'll die.
I'm gonna call Rao as the only person who lives. Everybody else dies.
Yep, turns out Rao was immortal. That's what the pills were for. Everyone else suffers from the death of the universe. He floats alone in the void.
Exactly.
Honestly, in this show, I would just avoid the ocean altogether.
Agreed.
I mean, there's no benefit to it.
None.
Nothing you have is better in the ocean than just floating above it. Or not even floating above it, flying above it. The planes have more advantage. So it feels like the only thing that'd be good for is stealth. And they ain't stealthy.
I could also see speed of travel.
I don't know. I'd argue that the jets are going faster than the submarine is.
The jets are going faster, but at the same time, it's the combo of stealth and speed.
That's what I'm saying. They're not stealthy, though. Everyone friggin' knows when they get a carrier thing underwater.
Well, that's because they've revealed themselves.
Then I have to argue that an element of stealth is knowing how to be stealthy. If all your commanders are like fucking gun-ho about shooting the first thing that they see, you would never have a chance.
Like they're playing they're playing Splinter Cell by walking up to everyone's face and stabbing them.
They're literally walking around with a cardboard box and no one has any buy-in.
Exactly. Pop, pop.
Gonna be the least effective move underwater.
Yeah.
Whatever that toss is called. You're already dead, Waltfield. We already watched you die.
推測の域を出ず、専門外のことでもあるが、以前一度だけ学会誌に発表されて論議を呼んだスペリオール・エボリューショナリー・エレメント・ディスティンド・ファクターを。
Thank you for your stupid ass abbreviation. Remind us what Gundam stands for again?
精密かつ徹底的な調査分析を。
Okay, so based off that, at the end of this, we need to say what Gundam seed stands for in full sequence.
So they're both abbreviations according to the show. They do.
That's
all,
what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember what seed stands for? I've already slipped my mind. Because I still have what Gundam stands for. General Unilateral Neurolink Dispersive Autonomic Maneuver. I feel like they would have been better off just going like metaphor. Yeah, we call it seed because it's like, you know, you grow it or yeah, something.
ここって
ここならストライクの完璧な修理ができるわよ。いわばお母さんの実家みたいなもんだから。こっち。
This is the home of the Strike's parents. Yeah.
Well, I already said I was hoping to see Kira's parents here, so kind of not the parents I was hoping for.
これ
そう驚くこともないでしょ。
You're gonna get surprised by how much the opening ruined for us.
これが中立国オーブという国の本当の姿だ。かがり
The so-called neutral nation.
M1 アストレイ。モルゲンレーテ社製のオーブ軍の機体。
Huh. I think Astray was one of the Gundams from Gundam 00.
どうって？
これはオーブの守りだ。お前も知っているだろ。
Well, this is why nobody fucks with Orb, I guess.
Yeah.
Let them say they're neutral. Who gives a shit? Don't fuck with them.
Dude, Orb is the kid with the
Did I
big
miss
brother
something?
who's a professional boxer.
Did I miss something? Did she get slapped in the face?
Don't think so.
She's got a giant red mark on the side of her face.
まだおっしゃってるんですか？そうではないと何度も申し上げたでしょ。ヘリオポリスが地球軍のモビルスーツ開発に
I think literally on her right side, so can't see it from here. Do you see? Is my vision bad? She does have giant red welt there, right?
だから責任はお取りになったじゃありませんか。
職王獣へに譲ったところで常にああだこうだと口を出して結局何も変わってないじゃないか。
仕方ありません。宇住様は今のオーブには必要な方なんですから。
あんな卑怯者のどこが。
So there is sort of a power play at work here.
お嬢様がこれでは
Yeah.
宇住様も報われませんわね。
See, like, they even put it, like, front and center for the camera. We're supposed to be noticing it.
Yeah.
Okay, she slapped her? Is that her
That might
mom?
be the... I could see it.
Well, except for the fact her dad and her don't share any hair color, but that's not a thing, specifically. And we also know that Zaft is gonna steal some of these because it's in the opening.
Yeah.
悪かったな。
始めて。
I guess the implication is that these are naturals piloting Gundams.
Correct.
相変わらずだな。
でも倍近く速くなったんです。
Which explains why they wanted the information from the strike and Kira's thing.
Mhm.
人の苦労も知らないで。
敵だって知っちゃくれないさ、そんなもん。乗れもしないくせに。言ったな。じゃあ変わってみろよ。
はいはいはい、やめやめやめ。でも、かがり様の言うことは事実よ。
This reminds me of when you like go home for like during your Christmas.
あなたのストライクのようにね。
I would say this reminds me of a show that we're gonna watch next week. So, get ready for that.
Hey, can you make it so we can actually not die out there?
Well, I mean, they give the whole, you don't know how hard this is to pilot. Yeah, the enemy won't know either. You'll just be dead. Also, the ending never fucking changes. The ending has been the same through 3 openings now.
Yeah.
I mean, unless something's different here. Was Bad Girl always standing right there?
I think so.
I'm of the mind that I may have just been missing stuff. Like, are new people that are in the opening gonna be in the outro? Or people missing? No, she's wearing the old outfit. Not the outfit she's wearing in the opening.
I think the outro is the same.
Is there anybody missing in the ending from the zaft side? Well, there's 4 pilots.
そして父と母、誰にはばかることなく帰って行ける始まりの場所。迎えてくれる優しき手に行こうのは、再び向かわねばならぬ明日を知るからか。蘇る思い出は胸を刺し、空にはただ悲しき羽音が舞う。次回機動戦士ガンダムシード、キラ。つながる時へ立ち向かえガンダム。
I'm confused. What's the name of the next episode?
I don't know.
I thought it was Homeland, but then she said next time. Maybe she said Homeland and then she said stuff about the Homeland.
Maybe?
I'm so used to the next episode being the name that she says the first, so I thought it was Homeland, and then she said next time Kira. So is it Homeland or is it Kira? Also, I can't get oh, it's Kira. Sorry, I already have the next episode ready for. Guess we're gonna watch it, but
yeah.
I understand the Flay thing there because literally they did a whole thing of, hey, everyone's meeting their parents. What the fuck's Flay gonna do? Flay's odd man out. Sorry,
Please don't bring. Please do not bring out Flay's mom.
Well, she's dead.
Knowing that Flay's mom is dead,
Yeah.
just a body. There you go.
Well, I mean that's why she like cries and she's the fists against Kira's chest sort of thing. She's left out of everything, so. This is just one of those episodes that throws me because it's 75% flashback. So by the time I get through 75% flashback, I'm already just flippant and making jokes and whatever. So I'm not prepared to digest new stuff. Because I don't.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know what the intended reaction to clip show is. Do people watch? I mean, most people skip clip show episodes, so
yeah. I think the intended reaction was to remind people of how we got here.
Well, I mean, that's what they want you to take from it. What's the intended reaction to it, though?
The reaction is like a reset, fresh slate idea.
Well, no. Again, that's what they want you to take away. How are you meant to react? Like, if I say a joke, your intended reaction is to laugh. If I show you a thing you've seen before, what is your intended reaction?
Oh.
So, 18 minutes of, oh? So that's what's...
18 minutes of, oh yeah, that was a cool thing that happened.
Yeah, it's like, how long do you pull a, I remember that? Because assumedly you've seen it all. So I remember all of that. So
what I think this was called, okay, hold on. This is how many episodes we said we signed on for. We're running out of budget.
I don't think so. Only because this is a 100-episode, one movie kind of deal. So it feels weird for them to have lost budget so quickly.
So I don't even know if it was so quickly, because they could have mapped out the whole thing if that's what the deal was.
This is a conversation that comes up. I don't know why I'm bringing up Macross so much. Macross, the SDF Macross, the very first Macross, got slated for, I think, like 40 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the budget got cut. So they went down to 35, 36 episodes. And then the budget got cut. And they went down to 27 episodes. Which makes a lot of sense if you see the show. Because around the 27 episode mark, the Earth gets fucking destroyed. But, and it's like, that's where the show should end. But then they got a budget increase. And they went up to 36 episodes. And they did not know what to do after episode 27. And it really feels like it. But the thing is that they were also suffering from not knowing their budget because they kept getting cut all the time. So they really do a lot of shit like this. So you have Global Report, which is just like this, Global getting a report to the UN, and it's all clip. And right after that, it's Phantasms, which is also a clip show, but it's like a dream clip show.
Yeah.
So, and I appreciate Phantasm more than I do Global Report because it tries to do stuff with the clip show. Versus this, and like I said, most people skip clip shows because they don't add anything. So when you take a clip show and then you add 25% more stuff at the end, forcing people to watch the clip show for sake of not missing out on the new stuff, I don't know what the intended reaction is supposed to be.
So at the end, I think the reaction is meant to be more of a, oh, cool, training montage coming up.
Right. Well, I mean, that's for the 25%. Do they just acknowledge that they just put nothing out there and anticipated people were going to fast forward? Like, I don't know how to handle the clip stuff. And as I said, my problem isn't that they did a clip show. I don't have a real problem rewatching stuff over again. But for me, it becomes Mystery Science Theater 3000. I'm just cracking jokes, making fun. I'm not in the space to bring stuff in anymore. It's all just, it's all coming out.
I think it's just making sure. I think it was just to make sure that people remember how we got here and what needs to be important moving forward.
I hate that. I only hate that because I feel like you could do that in the narrative. You could do stuff, show stuff on screens. People could say things. You can double purpose words to both remind people and set stuff up.
But this is also us watching this as adults.
I hate what you're saying. No, I don't mean because I mean that anime isn't for kids specifically.
No, I'm not saying that it is for kids specifically. But I think you have to include moments that if someone who was younger was watching, who might have a shorter attention span, that are these reminders. And not like a in the background or like a reminder.
Well,
no, like a sign that says, hey, what's up? Reminder.
Well, point of debate there is that Gundam is actually made for, I would say, the 17 to mid-20s audience. Because it's made to advertise to people with a income to buy Gunpla. You know, the figurines and everything.
Who also has an income to buy those figurines? People's parents.
It's not the same. The advertising for kids and kids-related stuff is done differently.
It's true.
Even in anime, you can tell the difference between a show that's selling stuff to kids versus... Because Gunpla and shit like that is way more expensive than the shit you would want a kid to buy.
But yeah, so I think
it'd be like having a show for Warhammer 40k versus, you know, anything else. Yeah, I don't know though. I saw ever since I saw Bo on the Toonami, I think way back in the day, I had real concerns about the attention spans of Japanese kids. I don't know if you've ever seen Bo. But the storyline changes every minute. Literally every minute, the story changes. Like, there's a theme, and then somebody says something. Oh, we're on the moon. Oh, now we're fighting each other with nose hairs. You know, it's fucking insane. And I had a real thought is, oh my god, is the attention span in Japan so bad that this is the kind of show? And it's like, no, it's just a really extreme show.
But yeah, there's not much to say about the episode.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, as I said, I was in my flippant joke phase there at the end, so some of the shit kind of just got escaped me. So it's just going to be a note-taking thing. So, 2 episodes from now, I'll have notes about it. That's all I can say.
Yep, that's about it.
Yeah, otherwise, I guess we're done here for the clip episode 25. I've been Theta, this has been Justin, we've been Stoneface Reactions, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?